Hello Year 7, welcome to your very first tutorial. Today we are going to have a look at the division of positive integers. And look at this little guy, look how happy he is. He's worked out how to divide positive integers. Woohoo! Okay, let's get going. The first thing I need you to do is to write a heading in your theory book, division of positive integers, okay? That is your heading. Underneath it, you'll be writing some theory exactly as we do on the board. So let's get started. Okay, what is it? I need you to write this, guys, into your theory books. So, division is the inverse of multiplication. Whoa, stop there, Mr. Corsi. What are you talking about? I've learned a new word today. Inverse. What in the earth is inverse? Well, when I talk about inverse, I'm talking about opposite. So what I'm saying here is that division is the opposite of multiplication. So inverse. Inverse means opposite, but I don't want to hear the word opposite anymore. I'm going to use this new fancy word I've learnt called inverse. So first thing, division is the opposite of multiplication. Division is separating a number into a certain number of parts. It's a process. When I divide something, I'm performing an action. So I'm dividing one number into a certain number of parts. Okay? You might need to pause this tutorial if you want to keep on writing that definition down. Now would be the time to do it. If not, let's move on. Oh, great, you're back. Let's move on. Perfect. Examples. So, what are some of the examples we've got? Okay, let's take this guy. Whoa. Okay, I've got 89,656 divided by 8. So I've got a really big number divided by 8. Now, there's a certain way I lay this out. Okay, I'll go with my question. I'm saying 89656 divided by 8. This 8 here is called my divisor. That's how many parts I'm separating the big number into. So this is my big number, this is my divisor. So the number that I'm separating goes in here, 8, 9, 6, 5, 6. Okay, and my divisor goes on the outside. So it's very simple. I then go 8. How many times does 8 go into 8? It goes once. How many times does 8 go into 9? It goes once, remainder 1. How many times does 8 go into 16? It goes twice. How many times does 8 go into 5? Uh-oh. 8 does not go into a 5 as a whole number. So what I have to do is I have to replace that. I say, nah, can't go in any times. And I need to carry my 5 over here. How many times does 8 go into 56? That's easy. It goes 7 times. Okay? This should hopefully be a reminder for a lot of you from primary school. This is my big number. It goes in here. My 8 goes on the outside. And then I simply perform the operations. Let's look at another example. Let's look at this one here. 4,200 divided by 6. 4,200. Okay, get this silly 4,200 out of the way. Whoa. Okay, so I say, how many times does 6 go into 4? Uh-oh, can't do. Carry that one. How many times does 6 go into 42? Okay, so that goes 6. Oh, yeah, 6 sevens are 42. Excellent. So I put my 7 down there. How many times does 6 go into 0? Oh, 0 times. How many times does 6 go into 0? Oh, it doesn't go at all. So that's my answer. 0700. Can I write that in a nicer way? Sure can. I'm going to write it down here as 700. That is a lot nicer rather than 0700. Because this 0 is in the thousands place value. And there's no other number in a higher place value. So I know I can disregard it because it's not important. Okay, let's have a look at our last example, and I'm going to show you a really quick little thing that you guys can do in order to save yourself some time. Okay. In previous examples, I was dividing a big number by a number that only had a single digit, so it was in its units place value. But I've got this number now. Let's have a look at this. It's 48,000 divided by 600. I have two numbers that have multiple zeros at the end of them. Let's make my life a little bit simpler. Instead of multiplying 48,000 like this, 48,000 by 600, and having to carry things and get really confused, look what I can actually do. I can say, I'll take a zero off from there, I can take a zero off from there, because I've taken away the same amount of zeros from both of my numbers. I took one from 600 and one from 4800. They were both at the end, so I knew I wasn't really changing my number. I was just simplifying it. Ooh, so I can take one off there and one off there. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so now my new number becomes 480 divided by 6. Okay, all I've done is simplify my numbers, and I've known I can do these because my zeros are at the end and I've taken the same amount of zeros away from each thing. So 6 divided by 480. So I do the same process. How many times does 6 go into 4? Can't do it. Goes no times. Okay, 6 is a whole number, doesn't go into 4. So I carry my 4. 6 into 48 now. 6 8s are 48. Cool. So it goes 8 times as a whole number. Don't have any remainder. 6 into 0 goes 0 times. So my answer is 080. How do I write that more cleanly? 80. Things to remember, guys. Little things. This is how we lay it out. This is how we carry our numbers across. So this is how we work out each number. Remember to carry through if there's a remainder. And remember, with big numbers that end in zeros, I can cancel out and simplify before I actually work it out. And that's it, Year 7. That's dividing positive integers.